Perfect. All right, great. And Grady, I'll share this with you at the end of our meeting so that you can distribute it out as you need internally.
All right, thank you.
Yep, no problem. Okay, back to it. So the purpose of today for everybody, for y'all, is at the end of this presentation, I want you to have enough information about who Rock Solid is to be able to make an accurate decision if this is going to be a fit for y'all. And then we'll go through the live demo, then we can decide upon next steps. So from a high level, I'm going to go through why this market has created a really unique opportunity for us at Rock Solid, based on our clients, why we're different than some of the other options that are available out there, and ultimately what you're going to get from us when we look at that one link solution. So what I want to do here, as I said, is set the landscape a little bit. I'm going to go through these slides about who we are, the landscape, and how we stand out, and then we're going to jump into that live demo. I want to talk a little bit about how the areas that have affected cities and municipalities the most, notably being economically, socially, technologically. So as I'm sure you guys are aware, budgets are increasing at a significant rate. And you guys are having to do a whole lot more with less money. Revenues are flat to falling in a lot of cities and municipalities. They're not growing extensively. So you guys are having to really get creative about where you're investing your time and money. You're looking to do a lot more with a lot less. So as these budgets continue to get challenged, right, what we've seen is there's a growing expectation for citizens and residents. So in order to meet those citizen expectations and really achieve those program outcomes, we've noticed that cities need to really meet citizens on their own terms via their preferred channels. And it's 2020, technology isn't slowing down any, and most of that is through a native mobile app. So municipal governments tend to have sometimes be latecomers to taking advantage of technology as such as the cloud. However, cloud solutions have really begun to transform governments who are taking advantage of this simply based on scale, based on cost savings, as well as having this more improved and reliable service through this really big digital transformation that we're seeing. So some of these financial pressures combined with the expectations from people in your city to be able to communicate properly with you guys really builds this incredible opportunity to have these connected systems. And it creates this great market opportunity for Rock Solid's products and services because we are built specifically for governments and municipalities. Those are our only clients. Those are the only people we focus on. So we really like to drive home what it is that you guys are needing. So for cities who are kind of frustrated with that citizen service platform that is kind of limited in scope and it only solves one part of the problem, but it's really missing the big picture of what's actually going on in your city, especially city to city. It's always changing, right? You guys are experiencing different things than your surrounding areas. Rock Solid here offers this comprehensive end-to-end citizen engagement platform. So what that means is our solution provides this citizen-centric, as I like to say, knowledge-based driven. It's a single platform that allows cities like you guys to make informed decisions based on actual real data that you're gathering from your residents. So unlike some of our competitors that they do have a service request centric solution, but it's only solving one part of that problem. It doesn't take into account the actual citizen view, right? So our product it's purpose built, it's omni-channel, and it's designed under this mobile first approach, right? Staying on that technology trend with trying to meet your residents with how they want to contact and reach out to the city. And most people are doing that now. Even ordering a pizza, people are doing that through a mobile app. So combined with Microsoft Dynamics, which we're built on top of, which is a super highly configurable backend solution, it's also got a really robust knowledge base, as well as a big, powerful suite of business intelligence tools. Our system also has deep connections with asset management tools. So we've got a lot of out-of-the-box integrations with, say, some companies like CityWorks and Lucity, and we partner with them as well to really create an extensive impact throughout the city. So you're not getting that siloed information and data. And our product, it provides the only solution in the market today that gives our customers a lasting and transformative approach to the way that you guys would be interacting with your residents. So what we're seeing is that cities are currently faced with two options when they're going to market for these types of like citizen engagement solutions, right? So the first option is that you guys could go and you could develop this fully customized CRM, highly extensive, built on like Microsoft Dynamics or Salesforce, right? It would give you this really deep functional use of the platform. You can customize it to meet your needs, anything you want. Two downsides to that, right? It's incredibly time consuming to go through a process like that, and it is incredibly costly. Most of those projects that you're going to face easily go into the seven figures. And then at the end of the day, when you've got this all implemented, you've invested all of this time and money, the system's not really set up to grow with the city and the trends that we're seeing in this market, right? And then the other option is sort of this off the shelf solution, which again only solves one part of the problem. It's not really taking into account all of the needs of the city, right? It's just looking at this one small avenue and it's not looking at everything you need, which unfortunately is pretty light on functionality. And it kind of results in this app sprawl, right? It creates these data and information silos. So at Rock Solid, we have the only option in the market that gives you that purpose built, highly configurable option. It combines deep functionality of our enterprise CRM. It's at an affordable price point. It's highly extensible. We have a highly extensible mobile platform. It's future ready. It has the ability to connect with your existing systems to bring value to them. Like I said, integrating with asset management tools and other backend systems. So we've really got that nailed down. And another big part is our dedicated team. I love coming to work. I love the people I work with, which I think is really special and I think it's really rare. And our people really make the difference. When I first started working here, this is just a really quick, interesting story. I was roundtabling with a bunch of the people that are working here, a bunch of the senior execs, and someone made a comment about how I've worked here for 20 years. And I was like, wow, 20 years, that's an incredible time to be there. Another person was like, oh, you've got me beat. I've only been here 18 years. Someone else said, oh, you've got me beat. I've only been here 15 years. So that's really special to hear. A lot of times you don't hear that these days in cities, or excuse me, in companies where people are really staying together. So we've been implementing these tools in cities for 25 years. Our team of experts are with you throughout the entire process. With this, you're going to get a dedicated customer success manager. She's going to be there, or he's going to be there to answer any of your questions all throughout your tenure with us. So you really get that dedicated service with us as well. So with all that being said, we can sort of jump into the heartbeat of what I really want to talk about, which is our OneLink, our mobile platform solution and backend CRM. This really brings the citizen a single place for all of their service and information requests within the city, right? Kind of like that one-stop shop mobile app for the city of LaPorte. It leverages photos, locations, advanced sensors to really yield the best results possible through a native app that is fully customized and branded to the city of LaPorte. There's two-way integrations and feedback, proactive communication, keeps users up to date and informed in real time. And it's also highly extensible due to a design paradigm that's easy for new applications as well as extending a little bit more to the mobile platform. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into what that actually looks like. So I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment so I can get my screen set up to show you the backend console. Perfect. Let me go ahead and share this for you guys. All right, let me know when you can see my screen properly.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so here is sort of the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about, right? This is our home screen to our OneLink solution. This is the screen that you will see if you are somebody who works in the city of LaPorte, right? This isn't citizen facing. When I spoke with Grady previously, he kind of gave me a little bit of an insight to some of the things that you guys are having to work through in the city, and some of the issue you guys were having is that when people are calling in or when they're requesting any sort of service request, it's usually via email, which is so hard to track. It gets lost. People forget to respond, stuff like that. I mean, I don't even have requests coming in, and I do that all the time in my daily life. So I can only imagine, the challenges that you face when it's only via email. Right? So what this solution does is it gives this one central hub for all of that information to live. You can see it. Other people within the city have logins. You can change their credentials to be able to view certain aspects of it, restrict their views on some things and some of the things that they can alter and change. And it lets you respond directly back to the citizen. So like I said, when you log in, this is the homepage you're going to see, right? You're going to have all of your requests listed out here in the bottom. We integrate deeply with Esri for our GIS and our mapping. However, we can work with you guys based on the GIS coding that you guys have in your city. So again, this is something that's configurable. Again, you can toggle through maps, grayscale, imagery, whatever you're most comfortable with, excuse me. You can create custom views here to only show you things that are going to be relevant to you. Let's say you work only in public works, or you work only on looking at graffiti or animal service, so on and so forth. So this can be changed to fit the needs that you guys have. So we'll just go quick on the top over here. We have our home page. Like I said, this is what it'll take you back to, this screen right here. We have our applications drop down with all of our service requests. I will get into the rest of what these mean in just a moment. We have our contacts, our metrics, and our search function. So the first thing I want to do is go to my applications button, go to service requests. And this is going to show you all of the service requests that are currently out for the city right now. What you can do, like I said, if you work on a team, if you're an individual, you can change the custom views of this, show you only what's relevant to you. Let's say maybe you're a manager or you're a part of a team. You can customize that as well to only show you the service requests that are coming in for the people on your team. And also, as I'm going through this for you guys in the city, if y'all have questions at any time, feel free to jump in, feel free to ask. I want this to be interactive. I don't want to just be spewing out a bunch of words at you guys, so please jump in at any time. All right, so again, it'll show you open requests. It'll show you escalated rules. We'll get into that in a moment, deleted, so on and so forth. That's pretty self-explanatory in that end. You can toggle between a list view, as you see here, which gives you the ID, date created, request type, etc. Or you can flip it back to a map like we talked about. This will only show you LaPorte, but of course, there's a few others I have in here. So it'll only show you for your area if you want to do a map view as well. We'll get back to the list view. You have the option to download this data. You can pull it out in Excel file, whatever you feel, and it'll email to your account that you have. So if you're logged in as yourself, it'll just email it to you. A little easier digestible. And then you have this create a request button. So this will be if you were in this system, like I said, as a city employee and somebody calls in, or if somebody, walks in or says something, and so you want to create that request for them. So I'll show you a little bit about what that process looks like. So the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to need to map this. It's going to be the first step to be able to create this request. So right now I'm just going to put it right here. You're going to select a report type. So again, this is configurable. We can change this to include everything that y'all need in the city that is relevant to you guys. So if there's ones in here that you need to add, you need to take away, super easily done. So let's go with graffiti. So side of the wall. You can put in a little description here to help whoever is taking care of this issue. You can notify them, tell them anything. Sometimes this is really helpful with graffiti to let them know if it's an offensive or obscene graffiti so that it can be escalated. You have the option here to put in a contact, or if that person would like to remain anonymous, that's an option too as well. So for me, since I'm working in the city, I'm talking to this person, I can search for them by their email, their phone, their name, any of that kind of stuff. So we'll put in Jane. Jane Smith has requested this. She came in, she walked in. Again, we can change all of this to whatever fits the need of the city of how you guys want to report this via web, telephone, walk-in, so on and so forth. So we'll put walk-in for this one. And then you do have the option to add a photo, which is incredibly helpful. Since she was a walk-in, maybe we don't have a picture, but again, there is that option to put that there. And then you have the submit button, of course, which submits the request. You'll get this green bar at the bottom that says it was successfully created, and it'll take you back to this, to the original screen to create a new service request. Any questions on how that works?
Nope.
Perfect. All right, so let's keep going. So let's look at what an actual service request looks like. Let's jump into this graffiti one that we just made. So again, this is all internal view. So when I'm looking at this, we'll just kind of go in a circle here. You've got the request ID, you see what it was created, you see the person it was assigned to. This is where you can change the status, in process, on hold, it's been canceled, so on and so forth, as well as changing who the owner is. If I need to switch this over to Andrew, Andrew's the person that assigns and takes care of graffiti requests, perfect, I'll send that over to him. I can see who submitted this. Jane Smith did. She was a walk-in. If it's anonymous, it'll say that it's anonymous. Since we have Jane's email, we're able to communicate with Jane via our comment box here. So if this is a graffiti that she is saying is offensive and it's obscene and she needs it removed immediately, number one, you could choose to give her a personalized response, which would go into her email. You could let her know that we are on this, we apologize. However, if it's just to notify of somebody, hey, I was wondering, someone had a question, how do we actually get rid of graffiti in the city of LaPorte, right? Like, what's the process behind that? You have the option for a canned response. So if you've got a canned response on how we handle potholes, street outages, so on and so forth, just makes a little bit more of an ease and a quickness to this transaction. You add the comment, and it goes directly to Jane's email. Over on the request details, you have the option to make this private. Currently, it is public. What that means is that if there is anybody else that logs into the system via the mobile app or logs into the web, the LaPorte City website, they'll be able to see all of the outstanding pending requests. But if you didn't want, for whatever reason, somebody to see this, you have the option to make it private. Integration details. This is the section, I spoke a little bit on this briefly earlier, to where if we integrate with another tool that you guys have in the city, this is where that information will live. For instance, if there was an integration with, let's use CityWorks as an example, the asset management company, they have a solution that, Public Works and sanitation, all of those other departments use. If this is a pothole and we know that that goes to into CityWorks console, we have a direct communication and integration with them. So right here, it will say it went to CityWorks. It will have the CityWorks ticket number and any other relevant information to that specific ticket. There is nothing that anybody in this city needs to do. Like I said, this is an automatic integration. So the second that that service request is chosen for a pothole, it will immediately go into their system. If I am a worker in CityWorks and I am updating, we've finished the pothole, it's been updated, it's done, the street's back to normal, and I comment, that comment will come through and it will show right here on our console in the public comments, which will go to Jane's email. So there's that two-way integration that's tied into it. Any questions on the integration piece?
If it's public, does it show the requester's name on the public side, or is it anonymous?
It will show the requester's name, but if they want to rename, if they do choose the anonymous, then that's when it won't show a name of anybody. It'll just show the request.
Okay.
Yep. And if somebody wants to submit this and they choose to be anonymous, they also won't receive updates on it. So they won't receive updates that it's been done or it's in progress or it's being worked on. Okay.
All right.
So the attachment section here, well, I will note on that one thing, they can go in and look and they can update it. They just won't get immediate notifications of when the status changes, but they will be able to see it via the mobile app or going through the LaPorte website. Okay, just real quick to wrap up this one section, we've got our attachments over here. Again, this is where that photo will exist if somebody chooses to upload an image, as well as the mapping information of where the location is for that specific service request. Okay, moving on. Any other questions so far? Perfect. Okay, great. And again, the action menu, this is all just send as an email. You can print these sorts of things. You can upload attachments. So looking back at our top console bar over here at the applications, I want to go through a few of what these are. We talked about service requests, right? So trash services. This is important for the mobile application piece, right? So this allows the city to have waste reminders tied to the mobile application, which sends out notifications on waste services. And it lets them send reminders on bulk trash pickup days, maybe on holidays where there's not trash pickup, or if there's, excuse me, not trash pickup due to weather or flooding or something that might happen. This is also where it can be zoned out. So, right, each neighborhood usually has different trash pickup days and they have different things of that nature. So, you can zone out where those notifications get sent for different schedules. This knowledge base section is where your knowledge base articles will live. This is where it's going to house all of these reference documents that you might need if people have questions on, as I used the example earlier, if somebody wants to know how graffiti is removed, if somebody has a question on maybe hours of operation or maybe what the city council meeting schedule is like, you can upload and add those articles here where you can easily pull them down and very quickly send them to a resident or a constituent. All right. Next is the message center. So this is the message center, and this is where this will live for messaging through the mobile application. Here you will be able to see messages that have been pushed out via like a push notification. You can toggle between this section, which is going to show you, like I said, the text message, or excuse me, not text message, the mobile application messages, as well as the service request comment and messages. So if you quickly want to go through and look at any comments or messages that are happening that way, this is where you can do that. With the messaging system, which is really neat, is you have the ability to create these new messages. Let me show you what that looks like. That can be sent out. This is really helpful to let people know of immediate things like if there's a water main break. If there's a water main break in a certain area, you can quickly send out a blast based on a geofence, a radius, a channel. You can say that people within this certain city limits um, let them know there's a water main break, expect delays, expect this road to be closed, so on and so forth. You can zone this out for city council announcements for people in certain districts. City council member, you know, in one area can be zoned out and send notifications on that as well. Power outages, so on and so forth, as well as being able to send a blast to sort of everybody in the city, letting them know events that are coming up, or it's 4th of July, fireworks are supposed to be set at 9 p.m. We look forward to seeing you, those kinds of things. So you have the option to build that out as well. Any questions so far?
So that would be pulling information from, so that means we would have to have updated emails and phone numbers for everybody.
No, this is just if anybody who has the mobile application. So regardless of their
Oh,
updated phone number or email, yeah, they'll if they've downloaded the mobile app, then they will get these notifications.
okay, gotcha.
And is
Yep.
it just text or is it images and things like that as well?
It's just text right now because it's a push notification. So it'll be similar to if you get like a pop-up notification or something like that from like Facebook. Usually it's just a text and you have to open it to be able to see the full message. So it'll just be that text pop-up that will say from the city of LaPorte, you know, mobile app or LaPorte 311 app or whatever it is that you guys choose to brand it as. And it'll have that text in there. Another thing to note, a lot of people turn off their notifications for mobile apps sometimes, you know, you turn them off for Facebook because you get so many if you're that popular and stuff like that. these messages will not be lost in the mobile app. So they'll live in the mobile app. The next time you go in, you'll see that there's a new pending message if you have your notifications turned off. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Great. All right, so moving across, we've got contacts here. Again, this is just where it will house all of your contacts for the people that have chosen to fill out a profile. This is where they'll have their email, their address. You can sort of go through and learn more. Oops. Learn more about who these people are, the things that they've requested, comments they've made. You can sort of track them a little bit and get a better understanding of building that relationship within the city and understanding who the people are that are living there. All right. And now we've also got this. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Was there a question?
No.
Okay, awesome. We'll keep going. So you've got this metrics piece, which is a really, really valuable tool and an incredibly helpful tool here. So this is where you can look at all of your data and all of your information for all of your service requests that are coming in, right? This is where you can really make those powerful and informed decisions based on what is actually happening in your city. This again has the option to create custom views. You can change this based on teams. You can change this based on date range, what has been submitted, what hasn't been submitted. You know, like I said, change the date range, filter the request type, all that kind of information. You can toggle again between bar graphs, whatever looks better, whatever's easily digestible for you guys. And this is where you're really able to make those decisions for your city. You can pull this down, you can save this, you can email this information to yourself, to somebody else, pull it in the PDF. This is really good information. We have a lot of cities that pull this to do their sort of year-end reports that they submit to the city. You know, this is how many requests we've had it, this is how quickly we got them done. You know, this is sort of how we're functioning as a whole. Any questions on the metrics piece?
Nope.
Perfect. All right. And then search button, really quick, the kind of self-explanatory. This allows for you to search for anything within the console. You can search by a name, a service request, an address, whatever it is. It picks up on all of that, so you can search for whatever you need to. All right, so now I want to switch gears a little bit. So that's the backend console, right? This is everything that internally in the city people are going to be looking at. This is what they're going to be functioning with. Now I want to switch gears to what this is going to look like for an actual resident, right? Which is the mobile piece of it. Is this kind of too small, or can you guys see what this is?
We can see it.
Okay, perfect. First of all, let me just say that I am not an applications developer, so I apologize for this picture being a bit distorted. When we get in there and we have the actual professionals, I'm not an app developer, I'm an account executive, so I did my best. When we actually get this in there for you guys, we will brand this to y'all, we will make it look nice, we will put whatever pictures, branding, whatever type of message that is that you are wanting to send and how you want this to be portrayed to your residents, we'll do that for you guys, right? Other people who are a lot better at graphics will do that for you, not me. So again, this is sort of like a homepage. So what we're doing here is we're just sort of mimicking a mobile app, right? We're just sort of mimicking what that looks like. So again, branded to your city, you can call it whatever you want. Right now, we're just calling it LaPorte 311. This is the home screen. So right now we just have service requests, but if you want the home screen to have service requests, if you want to have a button directly to your social media, if you want to have a button directly to your utility bill pay, that they can easily do that through the app. Whatever it is that you choose to do, it's really, really customizable in that sense. So there's a lot of possibilities to sort of make this your own. So let's go through and I'm going to show you a little bit of what this service request looks like as you go through. So we'll create a service request. So this is kind of the screen they're going to be met with. The first thing I'm going to do is choose a service request type. I'm going to go through, let's choose graffiti again. We've kind of been on that trend. we can set the location here. Since I know the specific address of this, I'm going to go ahead and type it in. So I'm going to do 302 North 7th Street. And it puts me, boom, right there. I said, yes, that is perfect. I'm going to say done. And this is also a really unique special feature that I wanted to point out to you guys, is this has the ability to notice duplicates, right? So a lot of fears of some cities is when something like a water main break or a street outlet happens, they get flooded with these requests or calls of people that are, submitting these things. Hey, this is out. Hey, this is out. Hey, this is out. And then you guys on the back end sort of have to triage when you're getting an influx of all of these requests. With the mobile app, it catches that. It says, hey, this is a duplicate. Looks like you either say, somebody's already submitted that. I can say, oh, that's mine. I forgot I submitted it. Or I say, nope, mine isn't listed here. When I click that, it still allows me to update this request. However, what it does on the back end for us in our console is it creates a parent-child relationship. So with that very first request that was sent in for this specific issue will be the main one. And then this one I'm submitting will attach to it like a child. So it won't just kind of filter and bog up that back system. All right, again, this is an area where you can make more details and descriptions about what that request has. Again, you can upload photos, videos, audio to sort of help understand where this is and what the issue is. Keep it confidential if you'd like, and then submitting that request. I'm going to exit out of here. So that's sort of how you would update for a service request. A little bit more about the app. We've got this little navigation tool at the top. And again, this is where you can add, and it can be customizable to what you would like in the city. You can have a link to your bill pay. You can have a link right into the LaPorte City Facebook, so I can just log into the Facebook through the app, see what's going on. Are there any updates here? You have the option, I just threw in a few here if I want to go to the pool rental. Rent a pool for the summer. It's getting close. Well, it's kind of chilly today for us in Austin, but you get the point. And then come through city council. I'm curious about my city council, who's in my district, what are they doing, that kind of thing. And you can pull up all the information about who they are and what they're doing in your district. So in that sense, it's, like I said, it's highly customizable, it's configurable. There's lots of options here. And also what we'll do is, in addition to the mobile application, is we will build a form for you guys on the City of LaPorte's website, so that if somebody chooses to go in via like a desktop computer and submit a service request, there'll be one form that they will have to fill out. It won't be one form for each department. It'll be very similar to the service request, where they go through and they can they fill out questions that they have on it, descriptions. If there's a picture that they also have, again, they can upload that. And on that form, that can be customizable for you guys based on what that request type is. For example, if somebody, submits a service request for a pothole, and you know that there are other questions that have to be answered for that question to be submitted, we can have drop-down menus based on the answers, right? So they can have that as well. Again, through that on the website, it can be anonymous, or they can create a profile. The profile that they create will be the exact same profile as the mobile application. So they can sign in using both logins for both consoles. Any questions so far on those two pieces?
Nope.
Perfect. Awesome. So that's an overview of our backend console. That's our mobile application. Hopefully that helps answer some of the questions. Like I said at the beginning, Grady mentioned that tracking and keeping all of this information in one place has sort of been a challenge for you guys in the past. This is something that we like to pride ourselves on, being able to have that metrics, being able to have this one view into the city. Like I said, with being able to integrate with all of these different applications across the departments that you guys have, and having that communication really allows for this solution to be that one hub of communication for you guys in the city. So yeah, if there's not any other questions.
Well, cost.
Yes.
Is it free? That makes this conversation a lot easier.
Say that again. I'm so sorry. You broke up
I,
a little bit.
Conversation is a lot easier if it's free. So,
Is anything free these days?
of
No.
course,
Of
of course,
course. Yeah, I guess
yeah.
maybe some things, but so this aside, let me ask you a question before we get into any of that. This aside, cost aside, we're not talking about cost and anything, strictly functional wise, strictly on everything that you saw and some of the questions that we went through. Is there any reason that you guys wouldn't want to move forward with something like this? Or is there anything that you saw that you were hesitant about or that would hold you back, just from my own knowledge?
The only thing I would say, and I'll let everybody else in the room chime in, is
Sure.
of course, we're looking at several products, and the
Sure.
product we looked at earlier had a code enforcement piece.
Okay.
Not sure that we'd necessarily get that, but it was nice to have that option to piece that together if we were to decide to. That's the only thing I see is missing here from what we've seen today.
Yeah, and we have integrations with code enforcement with anybody that uses that. So we have the option to integrate that into that. So it's not like a lost piece, for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Do you
Yeah.
have any clients in Texas?
Yes, we have quite a few in Texas. We've got,
Okay.
let me see how many I can rattle off the top of my head. Bear with me. We have El Paso, Frisco, McAllen, Mesquite, Denton, Pearland, Louisville. Um, oh no, you're putting me on the spot.
That's
Allen.
fine.
I hope that answers some. Yeah, we've
Yeah,
got,
that's
sorry.
good. Can you send that list to Grady?
Yeah, absolutely. Send
That'd
customer
be great.
lists. Let me make a note here. Sure. Customer list to Grady. Okay, perfect.
I go to the App Store.
And so, yeah, also I heard someone say something about the App Store. It might show if you search for any of the apps or anything like, for instance, if you wanted to search for like Frisco for their app, I think it'll show the developer is city sourced. Rock Solid acquired city sourced a little over a year and a half ago. So that's our developer on the mobile application. So if you see that name, don't be like, what is this? What's going on with that? That's just, that's who developed the app and that's who we acquired at Rock Solid.
Okay.
Yep.
So you said you did Pearland, Texas?
Correct.
Because I thought they were Bar Z Mobile. I thought that
We
too.
we're yeah, we just recently got them up and running.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. So they're really new actually. They're pretty, yeah, I want to say within the last maybe month or two. So they're new
Okay.
guys to come on. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I can send over that customer list. And then, like I said before, we've got customers all over the United States. We have a lot of customers in Latin America and in Canada as well.
Okay.
Yep. Awesome. And then as far as the price piece goes, just to touch on that for you guys, I know I've said this a couple times in here about this is customizable. We have a lot of layers to our solution. So there are a lot of pieces you can add or you can take off of, right? So based on what it is that you guys need in the city, it's going to change the effect and the cost. So that would be a separate conversation to dig into kind of outlining what it is that you guys need and showing you what those solutions look like. So I'd be more than happy to go through that, but it's a little bit more of an extensive conversation for sure. But we definitely strive to keep this as affordable as possible because we want to make sure that this is a good investment for you guys. And we'll kind of be the first ones to backpedal and say, I don't know that this is a good fit for you guys, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're making the best investments on our end as well. And we want you guys to have this be a long-term solution. We've seen a lot of times people get in and get these applications, and then in a year, they're having to change their solution or do something. And I don't want that to be the case for you guys.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so I'd be more than happy to set up a time to walk through that and discuss it with you guys and show you all of the different layers and pieces and show you what we can do, what we can take off, and how we can make that be a fit for y'all.
Say we want everything. Just give a rough number.
So we do that based on population. So I'm just going to pull this out really quick. So I think a lot of solutions that are similar to how we function are priced the same way in terms they're based on population. So Laporte, please keep me honest here. Y'all's population is roughly, I want to say 50?
No, we're about 34.
34. Okay. I was thinking 40, but I wasn't sure if that was correct or not. So yeah, you're looking at sort of low end. You could go in at like maybe 15, 17,000, and then you're looking at the high end. I mean, it can go up from there. Depends on the layers that you're adding. Depends on how long you guys want to be with us, where you want to go with it, that kind of thing.
Is there any implementation, chart, or is it just 15 to 17,000 a year?
There'll be a one-time setup fee for getting it implemented. There'll be some fees associated with staging instances and testing and development for you guys, as well as doing testing with geocoding. And there's also we have to explore integration. So if you guys do have asset management tools or you have other tools that we integrate with, we will just have to look at sort of what those integration pieces look like. So that's where that discussion, it kind of gets a little bit tedious, because we just have to make sure, is this a standard integration for us? Is this something we'd have to custom build? It's pretty rare that we've come into something that integration wise we'd have to custom build. Like I said, we work with a lot of asset management tools and other solutions within cities. So a lot of those integrations are pretty easy and out of the box. So that kind of eliminates that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a quick question for you.
Okay.
Have you had a new revision since January, or a new version? Just looking at some of the reviews on the App Store,
Mm-hmm.
seems to be a bunch of photo issues with uploading from the citizen side to upload
Yep.
photos.
Yeah, so we have recently, I think we're doing sort of a slow rollout of our 3.0 version. I want to say our oldest customers, we sort of started with them and rolling out a 3.1 for them, which has been eliminating a lot of those bugs and issues that some of those people are experiencing. So that, I believe they've started rolling that out, and it should be finalized by the end of this quarter, so at the end of March.
Cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
How many updates do y'all do a year, or do y'all try to do a year?
That I'm not 100% sure, because I don't want to lie to you. I can check on that. But we do update it really frequently as terms of catching bugs, making sure everything is flowing properly. Our product team is super on top of that. This is sort of their like pride and joy in their baby, is making sure that this functions really well. So we do have quite a lot of changes and updates that happen throughout the year. But as far as a specific number, I can double check on that for you, because I don't want to lie to you.
And training, is it part of the subscription, or is it a training cost?
Training will be included in part of the subscription and as part of your sort of one-time setup and your implementation. So we'll have people that will come in and help train, show you how to do it. And in addition to those service dollars, like I said at the very, very beginning, is that you guys will have a dedicated customer success manager. So that's somebody on our team that's dedicated to you guys specifically to answer any questions that you need on, hey, I don't know how to do this, or this isn't working, or I have issues. It's your dedicated line into getting those issues fixed immediately. And that just comes with the package. Yep.
Seems like that's it.
Awesome. No more questions or anything?
No, ma'am.
Nope.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Perfect. So as far as next steps, I know Grady sort of gave me some insight that y'all are viewing a few other people, kind of going through, feeling out what works best for y'all. What are y'all looking at for your timeline right now as far as decision making on this?
Decision within a month.
Within a month?
Would be-
Okay. Gotcha. So as far as that goes, do we want to go ahead and schedule a follow-up call if there's anything you guys wanted to go over again, just to understand y'all's needs or moving forward?
Well, we'll let Grady get back with you if we have any
Okay.
after the end of the day, we follow up with all our notes and everything and, sit down and discuss everything, then we'll let Grady follow up with you.
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, and Grady's got my info. So if you guys go back through and y'all are looking through y'all's notes, and you're, have a question about anything, let me know. And I know, like I said, Grady said that somebody was out sick, so I've recorded this, and I'll share that with him as well. So you'll have that.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, perfect. Well, if there's no more questions, I'll give you 11 minutes back in your Friday.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, y'all. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.